Trevor Wagner with 5 Star Cooperative, and today we're going to talk about proper tissue sampling techniques and how to plan ahead for the tissue sampling season.
Yep, and I'm Cully Forsyth, and I'm a summer intern for Winfield United. I'm going to talk a little bit about when to tissue sample throughout the season. If you're tissue sampling early season, we're going to do that V3, V4 range, and that's when we're going to take the whole plant, cut it off straight at the ground. Next, you tissue sample from V5 on, and that's when we're above usually a foot, and that's when we're going to take the uppermost collared leaf. Lastly, we're going to take tissue samples from R1 on, and that's when we're going to take the ear leaf. And always remember, when you're tissue sampling, we usually need a softball size sample.
All right, so like Coley said, we want to take the uppermost collar leaf. So in this case, this is V5, so we're going to take this leaf completely off at the stem, and we're going to get, like he said, a softball size. Once we get a softball size, we want to be able to send this off to a tissue lab, and the reason we want a softball sized tissue is because when they dry it down, there's not a whole lot of substance left of that tissue sample. So you want to make sure you get the maximum amount of tissue as possible.
Now that we've talked a little bit about how to tissue sample, we're going to talk a little bit about planning. Typically when I like to tissue sample, I like to do it earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's usually because it takes a couple days to get your results back in a timely manner after the date that it's shipped.
Another thing to remember when you're planning ahead, you also want to look at the weather conditions. You don't want your plant to be too wet when you sample, because if you're shipping it off for a couple days, it could get moldy. And then you also want to look at the extreme temperature heat. So if it gets too hot, some of that nutrient will get held up in the plant and will not give an accurate reading of the micro and macronutrients in that plant. And then the last thing, we want to look at some advantages of tissue sampling. You kind of look at, you're able to know the micro and macronutrient uptake of that specific field that you're sampling. Then you're also able to plan for the future, and then you're also able to enhance a technology tool such as R7 to give you an accurate result of in-season imagery. I know tissue sampling can seem simple sometimes, but at the same time it is extremely vital for your farm management practices. So if you want to learn more about tissue sampling or have your field tissue sampled, contact one of your local 5 Star agronomy sales representatives and we'll get right on that. Thank you for watching.